Hi, I'm Karen, and today Spirit talks about COVID. Coming up.
Okay, hi everybody. So this is going to come and give you information that you may need or want to know about the virus. And that's it. So they'll be here in a second, okay? Hello. Many of you are in fear and anxiety over what is going on your planet. So we wish to give you some information for clarification, for peace, for comfort, for protection, or whatever you wish to do with it. We always provide you with information for the things that you need to take care of your sacred self. Since we began to speak through Elliot, we have sent forth 19 manuscripts. Perhaps you should read them or review them. There's much information. Now, in regards particularly to this disease that is spreading across your planet, we want to tell you specifically its origins and how it has begun to spread, how it affects the human body, who it affects, and whom it does not affect. As we have explained previously, we, that which you would call God, of course, we have explained that if there was a word that we could not like, it would of course be that word, because it is an inaccurate description of us and what we are. We are energy. We are the very air that you breathe. We are everything. And as a humanoid on planet Earth, your human manifestation or your physical body has just about everything in the universes within it, the minerals and such. It is atomic matter. You have cancer in your body. You have all those things in the, we shall say, designed portion that they were meant to be. What does this mean? Well, since you have everything in your body, everything is in a certain measure. It is when it is out of that measure that sickness and disease occur within your physical manifestation. Now, because we are the air that we have explained, we are in you, through you, around you. We go through your respiratory system, which propels the air to also get into your bloodstream, which causes you to be alive, as you understand that term. However, also there are things that should not be within the manifestation of a humanoid. This virus, the COVID-19, as you have named it, is one of those things. It was not designed to be within the human body. Well, how did it get there? We have explained because we are the very air that you, or one of you, breathes it in. That's how it gets in. What does this mean? It means, now don't become too alarmed, that all of you on planet Earth have been exposed to it. Every single one of you. Because it is in the air that you breathe. Now, how did it get into the air that you breathe is the question that you would like to have answered. It is through your research and seeking into that which you probably should not look into. What do we mean? Your species has collected much information on other species on your planet, in the animal world, bacteria, and all of those things, so that you can know a little bit more about your planet, which you should, because all of you are many investigators. We'll use that term. However, once certain information has been collected, it should be ceased, because you have collected all the information that you need in the area in which you have went into, we'll put it that way. Specifically with some of the species in the Asian countries, there has been much research and investigation into animals that they had already collected the information that they need to know. And so what they were trying to do is cause and find ways to make biological weapons, to find what you think are cures, because really there are no cures to anything, as you understand that term. And the consumption of some animals that were not meant to be consumed by the human species. Now, once these things have occurred, they're continuing research and investigation into some things that you really don't need to do, your species. When we say you, that's what we mean. And the consumptions of portions of your planet that you do not need or should not consume. It's not good for the human body, because those specific creatures, we'll use that term, or animals, have specific things that are not conducive with your systems, particularly your digestive and your respiratory. And so many of you have done some things that were not in the highest good for them or their others. When we say their others, we mean all of humanity, as you understand the term. Needless to say, once and whence individuals have consumed that meat, it went through their digestive systems, out of their digestive systems through the disposal that your species has. It got into the air. Also through them, coughing, sneezing, talking, breathing. Out of them, into us the air, which is everything. And the air flows to and fro everywhere on your planet. Now, because this has happened, because there are many things on your planet that have been introduced to your species that many of you are not able to take inside of your body in any large measure. What do we mean? We said at the beginning and offset of our conversation with you that all of you have everything within your body. Everything, because everything is in literally the air or us that flows through your respiratory system. And therefore, when this virus became introduced into the air that you breathe, and it has circled your globe through the jet streams and things of that nature, then you can understand that certain things begin to happen to one of you or many of you, because that particular virus was not meant to be, number one, in your bloodstream, number two, in your respiratory system. And its introduction into such has caused dis-ease, infection, or an illness. It is a virus. Viruses are normally spread, as we have stated, through the very air that you breathe, or through the touching of something that gets into your bloodstream or your respiratory. This particular virus also affects the endocrine system of your being, your spleen, the respiratory, your lungs, the digestive, It eats up the lining of your stomach. It mixes with the acids in your stomach and causes a violent reaction. That is why many who are overexposed to the measure of this particular virus that should be in the human body have dietary issues, we'll say, digestive issues, diarrhea, all kinds of things. And as it affects the lungs, it affects the hairs and the receptors within the lungs, and it collects and causes it not to be able to cause the air to flow properly, which affects the spleen, the kidneys, and other portions of your being. Now, the majority of those that in the Western civilization are affected most is for two reasons, and in the eastern portion of your planet also. The accumulative consumption of antibiotics and probiotics, because your species, as generally speaking, has overused those two things. We'll use that term. It has affected your immune system and caused your body not to be able to fend off certain things the way that it should. And of course, this has occurred with what we are speaking about now. So, all of you have been exposed to it. Those of you that are healthy, as you understand the term, will fend it off quickly. Those of you not so healthy, it may take a bit. Those of you who have, as your medical professionals and scientists have told you, some type of compromised immune system, i.e. some heavy issues with your respiratory, your blood, high blood sugar, and things of that nature, will have a most difficult time, and many will die. However, the human body will adjust to it. It will begin to find ways to do what your wonderful body does. Adapt, expand, and push out those things that need not be. But because many of you do not take care of yourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, a most violent reaction may occur in some of you. So we will inform you once again. It will surge. It is surging now on your planet. The human body, for most, will do what it needs to do. But it is here now introduced to the physical being of your species, which means it will always be here. It will reoccur. Some will die. Most will develop antibodies and will not be so much affected in the future. It is like any virus that has pressed upon your planet. Now, why are we giving you this information? Number one, we always tell you the truth. We must tell you the truth. No matter what you have heard from your scientists and your doctors, because we are science, we are everything. And we tell you that because your species has done some things that you were not or should not have done, of course you have freedom of choice and you can continue to do whatever you do. But there are always consequences for things that you do as an individual and collectively as a society. So perhaps you should think about in the future not experimenting so much on other portions of your planet, and not to take things in your body in more than the measure than they were assigned, medications and such. specifically antibiotics and probiotics. Now, when used on a limited basis, they are good for your physical being. They assist it. But when they are, like anything on your planet, overused, they begin to create adverse reactions. And that is what has happened. Unbeknownst to most of you, you have had symptoms of this virus. Primarily, as you understand percentages, we'll use a scale of 100%. 85.3% of you on planet Earth have been exposed to it more than your physical bodies should be. Now, once again, we said all of you have been exposed to it. Now, the man that we speak through and his wife Diane, unbeknownst to them, were exposed to it in the month of February, when someone that they know came from another portion of your planet, stayed with them, and all of them got it or received it from the flight that the individual was on. And only because they have been juicing and eating much healthier and exercising, it did not consume them, because they are at that age that they tell you it affects mostly. Because as you age, because of the accumulative things that you have done to your physical body, you are not as immune as you used to be. Simple. All things are simple, yet complicated. And so that is why it does not affect the young as much. Would it affect some young? Of course, because a lot of them have a compromised immune system because of the things that they have done. The smoking, the vaping, the alcohol consumption, the lack of exercise, and so forth and so on. That's all of you. And that is why the information that we have sent through Elliot and others on your planet, because he is by no means the only one that we speak through in this manner, we have given you the things that you can do to raise your vibration, because everything on your planet and everywhere is sound and vibration. Period. You don't have to believe it, but it is a fact. We always say, you can change your perception of reality, but you cannot change reality. And the reality is that the virus is on your planet to stay, as is the flu virus, measles, and all those things. But when the bodies adjust, then it is not so devastating. That is the information that you need to know. Now, what should you do? We will tell you specifically. All of you should take some type of multivitamin. Period. All of you should exercise and receive the cardio that you need. Period. All of you should meditate. Be still and know that we are in you, through you, around you, over you. And all of you should talk to us as much as you can. And all of you should respect your others and love one another. If you do this, most of you will live what you can understand to be as a long life. If you do not, because there are consequences to everything, you die younger. And we will tell you that any soul that perishes from this virus, now you might not like this, chooses to do so. It means their time in the manifestation that they are living in is over. Now, the good news is, if you consider it good news, there is reincarnation and other avenues for the spirit. So be well, take care of yourself. Perhaps more of you will be a little cleaner. You will be more cognizant of what you put into your physical bodies. You will exercise, because those are the answers. Because when the physical body is strong, you can push out anything. Now, we will tell you that if by chance, through mass consciousness, all of you could come together and in one resounding voice say, out of your being, individually, send the vibration out and say, COVID-19, I command you to weaken your grip on the human species. So it is uttered. So it is done. But that means that would have to be at least 96.25 of your species. Unfortunately, because many of you don't believe these things, won't do it, and it will be in a higher measure on your planet than it should be, longer than it should be. We love you very much. We really pray, because we do pray when we talk to you. We're praying to you right now, that you take heed and that you listen. But you need not fear. You have nothing to fear. You need not have high anxiety. And dare we say once again, what you need to do is take care of your fourfold being. Goodbye.